Hi. So we have seen a lot of startups who are student centric and they do everything they can to make their experiences better. But here is an initiative which is focusing on teachers alone. Surasa, an e-learning platform solely for teachers. And joining us to explain how this platform works and what they are doing is Rishabh Khanna. Hi, welcome to our video interview.
Hi, Seema.
If you could quickly take us through a bit of history and how the genesis of this platform actually happened.
So, Seema, we started working on education around 10 years ago. Started working on how students' learning outcomes can be improved. So we started working on creating certain programs for students. And we were measuring a lot of things, right? So I've been a cognitive scientist. I wanted to have evidences for everything.
Right.
So while we were doing those courses for students, we realized that short-term courses don't create much impact in a learner's life. And the maximum benefit a learner can achieve is from the teacher. So we thought, let's focus on how can we involve the teacher. Only to realize that teacher skill set really wanted a complete overall. It had to be changed somehow. So we started researching on it. In the initial years, we started collecting skill data of teachers in different parts of the country. We've gone to villages where there was no electricity, but a teacher was teaching. We've been to schools where there is a helipad. So you see, India has a huge variety of schools. So, and all those places, one thing was common. They had so many teachers, and teachers did not know what is the next logical, practical milestone that they should achieve. If you ask a teacher, where do you see yourself in next 5 years? They would say maybe a coordinator, maybe a vice principal, maybe a principal. But if you ask them, how would you become that? They would say, if my vice principal chooses me, I'll become the coordinator. Or if my principal chooses me, I'll become a vice principal. Yeah. There's no logical path. And it was a big opportunity for us as well as for teachers to have a measurable path for themselves. So we went ahead, we did detailed research on teacher standards around the world. We picked up 4 countries majorly, where the education system of these countries are considered as the best in the world. We studied their teacher skill standards. So every country has a teacher skill standards. Most of our educationists would not know about it. And it's not a complaint, but I think we should, as educators, really train them on what are teacher skill standards. So we studied them and we created courses which help a teacher in taking the shortest path to success and achieve what they intend to achieve, in both in terms of their growth in their job as well as their salary, economic growth, because that's equally important.
Now I did read that you've launched PGCTL, your latest addition to your platform. So tell us a little about that as well.
So PGCTL is a professional graduate certificate in teaching and learning. It's a graduate level certificate, only the first certificate like that to be launched in India. Now this is certified by 2 awarding bodies, one by the government of Dubai and second by Ofqual, which is official qualifications body of UK.
Right.
Now this certificate helps a teacher in learning international skills and be ready to teach in any part of the world. Coming back to PGCTL, it has 10 courses. Each course has a pre-skill verification and a post-skill assessment. And then every course has live classes with international faculty. There'll be people from UK, people from Dubai, also some highly skilled people from India. And then these faculty members really deliver these skills in form of live classes. Now, these classes can be virtual, can also be face-to-face in different centers that we're opening across the country. We've already identified one center in Bangalore. It's a huge campus that's coming up in Bangalore. Then we're opening up in Delhi. The next will be Mumbai and then Kochi. So we are coming up with these 4 centers within the next 1 quarter.
Okay.
Then it's also delivered virtually, completely online. So in virtual class, a teacher doesn't need to travel anywhere. A person doesn't need to travel anywhere at all. They just join in, they just register for the qualification, and they can attend 4-hour classes every week from the comfort of their homes. And they keep building their e-portfolio. They keep learning in live classes. They keep doing self-paced modules. and they complete the qualification in 10 months and they receive an international certificate.
Right.
That's PGCTL.
Right. Also, something that really interested me when I was going through your website with you, also when we were speaking, was when you said that you mentioned that you help teachers build their portfolio. Now that is something we've always heard only artists speak of, or photographers, but for teachers, I'm sure this is something really new. So if you could also introduce us to this concept.
Seema, if you ask a teacher that is teaching easy, they'll tell you that it's not easy. Teaching requires a range of technical skills. Now, many of us don't realize that. In fact, if anybody wants to become a teacher from the outside, it looks very simple, going to a classroom and talking, but it is not as simple as it seems. Like every other thing, teaching is measurable. So there are skills required to identify how much somebody has learned. When we say that somebody who receives 100 out of 100 is intelligent and somebody who receives 60 out of 100 is not, I think many of us have seen over our lifetimes that all the students between 60 to 80% marks, usually the moment they reached university, were able to do some things that the others were not able to do. And I'm not saying that they were better, but their skill set was different. There was an entirely different competency that these students had. And the competency of the other learners in the class was different. As a teacher, I should know what are the strengths of all of these learners and how do I teach them. So these are some very technical skills. To give you another example, every teacher has to study child psychology before they become teachers. Now, if you ask a teacher, how much did you enjoy studying and how do you use it? You'll usually see a smile, more like a smirk on their face that, yeah, we studied, but majorly to pass an exam. However, these theories can be used every single day in the classroom. So you see, all these technical skills and how to implement them in the classroom can be converted into tangible evidences. And imagine if a teacher comes to a school and says, all these tangible evidences prove that I can deliver learning outcomes better than anybody else, their chances of growth as well as when them getting hired increases. So we've built an online system where a teacher builds their online portfolio, e-portfolio of the skills. And these are highly technical skills, and we've not built them. These have come out of international teaching skills, international teaching standards. And since this portfolio can now be used all around the world, this teacher now has a qualification, PGCTL, attached with the e-portfolio that gives them the passport, like wings to fly to any part of the world and teach, right? Yeah. So that's what e-portfolio really does. It's like evidences of those technical skills that a teacher needs to have. To quote a small example, a very important part of teachers' work is to build assessments, right? To evaluate that the learners have learned the correct learning outcomes and at the right level or not. An assessment is a highly technical thing. A teacher needs the right pedagogical skills to build the right assessment. Two questions looking exactly the same would be used to measure different skill levels in a learner. So these are technical skills. A teacher would have all these skills mentioned in the e-portfolio, and that's what really separates them from masses.
That's really a great idea to be implemented at your platform. I also wanted to know what lies in the future for you. What's in store?
Sure. So you see, what we're trying to build here is a network of highly skilled teachers. Our target is to have 1 million teachers on the platform over the next 2 years. Now, these 1 million teachers would be so highly skilled that they can turn around the picture of any country's education system. Now, they've received the qualification, they have an e-portfolio, but what next? They need to have jobs. So what we've done is we've built an AI-enabled system. We are testing it right now. It will be launched within the next quarter, wherein a teacher would be able to, just click a button and say, I want a job change. And I'm talking about our teachers, our learners, PGCTL and other course learners on the platform. They'd be able to come up and say, I want a new job or I want a job. Their profile, their e-portfolio is shown to the schools and in the regions and in the countries that they want to teach in. The schools in those areas are notified that we have these highly skilled teachers available to be hired in your area. Yeah. So a school can really come up without paying any charges at all can hire these highly skilled teachers by looking at their e-portfolio, by looking at their video profiles, by looking at their skill profiles, and can hire them by offering them the right opportunity and the right pay package.
Yeah.
So it's like hyping jobs for all our learners forever. And we'll never charge anything from our learners or from the schools for these job opportunities for our alumni. So that's coming up next.
That's been very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us and giving us an insight into what you do.
My pleasure is all mine. Thank you for inviting me.